Talk about today, I want to show you a little video of how to obtain information from ChatGPT, technical information that helps architects, especially those of us who do design and also do the specifications part of it. Uh, People like me. This is a home in Cullowhee, North Carolina. I'll show you a little bit of the Revit file, a little bit of the Word document that I kind of take notes on, and I'll show you how just by using a rendering, I am able to capture an image from that rendering and tell it to ChatGPT to give me a specification so that I can use for later on. So right now I'm in design development. I've gotten approval from the owners for the colors, and now we're just making sure that we have all the information for the homeowners association to provide the approval. So stay tuned, and at the end of the video, you can comment. If you want to know a little bit more about what I do as an architect, feel free to send me a text. Everybody's on YouTube now, and I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm hoping that it can help out mostly students of architecture, and even more importantly, other contractors, so that they can actually see what goes into work before an architect actually provides the whole set of construction documentation. There's a lot of thinking that goes on, and one of the reasons why we tend to be so specific about what we want is because there's been months of thinking before a contractor sees the documents that an architect has provided. I've presented the owners with a color selection based on Sherwin-Williams paints, and we've gone back and forth in choosing the right design for them. Now, we're doing all this so that we can present to the homeowners association, because they have to be pre-approved before we can actually proceed with the design. So this is a pre-approval for the look of the home before we can submit for permits, and so that the builder can start working on. So this is our River Retreat home, and this is the front of the house, or what I would say is a uh, rendering of what we hope it would look like. And for there's many things that I'm doing. So I'm working on the presentation. I'm also working for presenting the preliminary submission to the homeowners insurance, the homeowners association. And at the same time, I'm trying to kind of save time in terms of what do we show the association, what is for sure what we know right now versus what's still in the process during design development. So this was the first screen, or the first information that I provided to the owner so that they would decide what things they were liking. So they nixed the look of this garage door. So we're not doing that garage door, but other things that they approved were the colors. So that's when we go into AutoCAD. I mean, not AutoCAD, but Revit, because I work on Revit. And I start kind of modeling as many aspects as I can of the home so that I can provide notes in the what's becoming to be the construction documentation. So we're kind of designing at the same time. Because I work for myself, I have a few people that help me sometimes, but when it's a new project like this, I'm pretty much doing everything, which means presentation boards, which means specific documentation like the specifications, very technical information like reviewing the structural drawings and making sure that uh, what I assume should be the structural members go in hand with what the designer recommends. And because this is a home that it's in the FEMA zone in Tagasigi water, I need an engineer to help me design the foundation. And I'll give you another video for how the engineer came up with a economical, very economical foundation, keeping the house safe, and just economical to build, and something simple for our builder to not have to find too many specialized subcontractors to put together this home. So this is what the home is looking like in Revit. Now I've worked on the landscape, the site planning, and I always like to provide um, recommendation for plantings, for native plantings. One, because it's a requirement in Jackson County, but also because it's nice to live within the habitation of the flora in this area, so that we don't have to bring in species that shouldn't be here. So um, just the overall, this is existing trees that are on the site already. This is the Tagasigi River, and this is where we're putting in the house. Now the home will have a garage of CMU walls with smart vents, and that's so that, because we're in the flood zone, if water were to rise, we can have those smart vents will open up and will let the water go through the garage. So the garage cannot be a habitable space. That's one condition of building homes in FEMA. And that's the biggest condition, really. Plus, you cannot have your structural members at a certain distance based on the certification of the site. And I can go into more detail about that, but let's continue talking about why I love ChatGPT and how I have become very accustomed to using it to write up my specific information that I need, technical information that would have taken me many hours before, and now it's very simple. So let me go into, this is the design development. Then I have another presentation, another sheet for the presentation, which is the floor plans. This is the floor plans. We won't use that, but what we're using for our presentation at the moment is this sheet. And in this sheet, I'm kind of simplifying things for the HOA, for the homeowners association, so that they can approve things without having to spend too much time. And hold on one second, I just opened up the wrong, that's for my construction documentation, which we're not there right now. At the moment, we're working on the design development drawings. So here we go. In the design development drawings, I have the sections, which that's just another technical information that's more related to how I'm saying we should build the stairs. And I build the stairs based on what the International Residential Code is, and more specifically, what the North Carolina State Code tells me I should do. As much as I would like to make up stuff, I cannot make up stuff because I have a code that I have to follow, a legal code that protects life and safety for everyone involved, and for anyone who involves, you know, living here in the space that we live in. So here's the point of my video today, really, is to show you how I'm presenting the information for the homeowners association. So I've broken down all the elevations for the house, correct? East elevation, the south elevation, which is really the side elevation in this case. So if you look at this elevation, this I'm trying to represent it here with this rendering. And in this rendering, I start pointing out that we will have this trellis. Now, just because I say it's a trellis, there has been some design that went into it. So I provided slatted 8-foot long boards that I'm thinking that I'm going to have with probably 1 inch of gap in between each board, or half an inch. But in the meantime, as I'm thinking about it, I'm also creating the specifications that could be used later when I'm communicating this information to the builder. So, one of the things I like to do is, as I'm thinking, as I'm designing, I start collecting information, correct? But now with ChatGPT, I'm able to even create more accurate information. So, what I'll do right now is I'm going to do a snip of the trellis. So, this is the snip of the trellis, one area in the house, right? Um, so what I want to do is I want to create a specification for this trellis. So now I'll go to ChatGPT, and let me find my ChatGPT. I'll add the information, the picture from my rendering of what I want, and then I'll give it some prompts saying, I want a horizontal trellis. I want it to look this way with slats, evenly spaced, a modern look. And I want the panels to be 8-foot panels. And I also want them to be supported by vertical post. I don't know if they should be metal or if they should be, wood, the same wood. So I don't know. But I know I should use Douglas fir because then I can paint it. I know the size I wanted, at least an inch and 1 inch by 4, which means that it'll be like 3/4 by 3.5 for the actual dimension. And then the spacing, I want it to be really, at the moment, horizontal with 1 inch gap. So I can even add that to the information so that it can be better. And I'm saying to be specified by architect because what I want to also tell it is I want prompt ChatGPT for the contractor to provide a mock-up. And the reason why I want a mock-up is because I want the owner to be happy with the look of this trellis. This trellis goes all around the house because we're in a FEMA area and we cannot have solid walls, but they want some privacy. So, and in this, the Callaway River Association, where this house is in Callaway, North Carolina, they are very specific on their requirements because they don't want all the homes to look the same, but they also want design into the homes. They want someone to be thinking about what is the best way that we can blend it into the environment and be safe. And if there's a flood, that all these homes don't start floating away. And we just have to follow certain restrictions that we have. So another thing that I've told the spacing, the finish is to be, I don't think I'm going to say factory apply. At the beginning, I thought it was going to be factory applied, but I'm not going to say that it should be factory applied anymore because if the contractor actually decides that it would be less expensive for the owner to build them on site and then paint them on site, that might be better than to actually have it manufactured somewhere else. So I'm just going to say the color specified by the architect because we do have a color in mind, but we have to get a sample. And more importantly, we have to be approved by the homeowners association that the colors we have chosen is something that they will eventually approve. Plus, I want the owner to be able to see this color in hand, the actual sample. So for the finish, I'm going to say that it should be exterior grade paint. Um, and to provide a sample for owner approval. And either me or I mean I don't approve anything until the owner approves it. even though I'm the one at the end that tells the contractor that this is approved. And then I'm going to tell it to support from column to column, because I know at the moment my columns are about 16 feet apart, but it'd be very hard to get something sturdy and durable at a 1x4 slat that can span 16 feet. So I'm saying at a post if necessary at midpoint, and I'm going to say at about 8 feet. And ChatGPT is smart enough. So what I'll do is I have it prompt, right, with that picture. And then I'm going to say, provide a specification based on the attached picture or photograph and the text shown. And then it's thinking, what in the world are you thinking, lady? So I'm gonna send that, and you can see that ChatGPT is thinking, and it thinks way faster than me. But there's the image that I sent, and is busy at work. And here we go, general description, evenly spaced. It's what I want, with modern aesthetic. It's what I told it. And then it tells me what the slats should be Douglas fir, like I said. Um, so you can see that this is not, I don't like it. So I'm going to say provide the specification according to MasterFormat. And I know it's section 6 because that's wood, and see what it says now. There we go. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. It's not interior finish carpentry. This is exterior wood trellis, but this is where I would put it, because it's carpentry. And this is exactly why I like Chat GPT, because something that would have taken me a long time, right here, Division 6 refers to rough carpentry. Division 9 refers to finishes. So it starts telling the contractor that they're going to need possibly two subcontractors, the rough carpentry and the finishers. So he's going to need a painter. So this is one good way of starting to talk about with the same information to contractors. You can see that it breaks it down into the three parts of general. It gives the contractor the first information on the submittal, and it also tells it that they have to provide product data, meaning that they have to show us what those materials are going to look like, a shop drawing showing how they um, plan to build it. I'm going to give them a detail, but they also have to look at the information and say, Susan, I cannot build it every 8 feet like you want it. I have to build it every 6 feet. And this is my interpretation of that. So this is ChatGPT at its best. I really am happy with this. So all I do now is I will change anything that is not correct. For example, the treatment of kiln dry to moisture. I don't agree with this, because I want to be able to paint that. So I don't need to have it. I don't need to add more cost to the specification if I don't have to. So they don't have to be pressure treated, but they do have to be painted. And I do want certified wood preferred, because I want to be able to be a responsible architect. Um, Other things, we want stainless steel so we don't rust. We also want spacing fasteners every 24 feet on center. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Overall, this is great though. This gives me a good start on what I need to provide um, to the contractor. Anyway, I'll continue working on this beautiful home. of about 3,000 square feet, which includes the garage. And I'll give you another look later on. If you have any comments, something you want to know more specifically, feel free to comment.